Have you ever really stopped to think about why you do the things you do? I mean, it can feel pretty random sometimes, right? But what if I told you it's not? What if our behavior is constantly being shaped, nudged, and guided by what happens right after we act? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the powerful theory that explains pretty much all of it.
I mean, seriously, think about it. Why do you find yourself just reaching for your phone? Sometimes you don't even know why you're doing it.
Or you've seen this, right? A kid does something kind of silly, gets a laugh, and then suddenly that's their new favorite move. They do it over and over and over again. Why?
And how about this one? That split-second automatic reaction to lift your foot off the gas the moment you spot a speed camera up ahead? All of these things, from your phone habit to hitting the brakes, they're all connected by the very same idea.
So what is it? Well, the answer to all of this comes from a really foundational idea in psychology, dreamed up by the incredibly influential B.F. Skinner. Skinner had this amazing idea. He believed we learn through consequences. And he didn't just guess, he studied it, famously by watching animals in controlled environments, like what's known as the Skinner box, to figure out exactly how rewards and punishments drive what we do.
Skinner basically boiled it all down to this beautifully simple formula. A behavior happens, it's followed by a consequence, and that consequence directly impacts your future behavior. It seems almost too simple, but trust me, this little formula is the key to understanding so much about our daily lives.
Okay, before we dive any deeper, we need to get one thing straight. There is one crucial rule here. If you can just lock this next part in your brain, everything else we talk about is going to click right into place. This is the secret decoder ring for the whole theory.
So here it is. This is huge. In psychology, positive does not mean good and negative does not mean bad. Forget that. Just think of it like math. Positive means you add something, negative means you remove something. That's it. And reinforcement, that always means a behavior goes up, it increases. Punishment always means a behavior goes down, it decreases. Got it? Let's burn that into our brains.
So, let's start with the good stuff. How do we get a behavior to happen more often? This is where reinforcement comes into play, and there are two different ways we can do it. First up, we've got positive reinforcement. Let's just use our rule, right? Positive means we add something. Reinforcement means the behavior increases. So positive reinforcement is all about adding something pleasant to make a behavior happen more often. You know, think rewards, praise, a good feeling, anything like that. This is the one we're all familiar with, right? An employee does a great job, they get a bonus. What happens? They're probably going to keep doing a great job. A kid works hard on their homework and gets praise from a parent. Well, they're going to be a little more eager to study next time. You're adding a reward, and the behavior that got you that reward gets stronger. Simple. Okay, now for the one that trips everybody up. Seriously, this is the most misunderstood concept: negative reinforcement. Let's go back to our rule. Negative means we remove something. Reinforcement means the behavior increases. So, we're taking away something annoying or unpleasant, and by doing that, we're actually making the behavior more likely to happen again. The key is the behavior still goes up. The perfect example is your alarm clock, that horrible blaring sound. That's the unpleasant thing. What's the behavior that makes it go away? Getting out of bed and turning it off. Because you want to remove that awful noise, your behavior, getting up, is reinforced. You do it to make the bad thing stop. It's the exact same reason you buckle your seatbelt, to stop that annoying beeping sound from your car, or why you take an aspirin when you have a headache. In every single one of these cases, you do something to remove an unpleasant feeling, and that makes you way more likely to do it again the next time you're in that situation. The behavior increases. See? All right, so we've covered all the ways to make a behavior happen more, but let's flip it around. What if you want a behavior to happen less often? Well, that's where punishment comes in. Let's use our rule one more time. Positive means we add something, and punishment means the behavior decreases. So with positive punishment, you're adding an unpleasant consequence to try and make a behavior stop. This is what most of us think of when we hear the word punishment. For example, if you're speeding, you might get a speeding ticket. That ticket, that fine, is something unpleasant that's added to your life, and the goal is to decrease your speeding in the future. Or if a teenager stays out past curfew, they might get assigned extra chores. An unpleasant task is added to make the rule breaking less likely to happen again. And that brings us to our last one, negative punishment. You know the drill by now. Negative means we remove something. Punishment means the behavior decreases. So here, we're taking away something good, something desirable, to make a behavior stop.
This is classic parenting 101. A child is misbehaving, so a parent takes away their tablet for the rest of the night. Something they love, a privilege, is removed, and the goal is that the child will be less likely to act out in the future because they don't want to lose their tablet again.
So that's it. Those are the 4 big mechanisms of operant conditioning. Let's just put it all together in one super simple guide so you can see how it all fits together.
Look at how clean this is. Everything comes down to those 2 simple questions. First, does the behavior go up or down? That tells you if you're looking at reinforcement or punishment. And second, was something added or taken away? That tells you if it's positive or negative. That's the whole model right there.
So from now on, whenever you're trying to figure out a situation in your own life, just ask yourself those 2 questions. 1, what happened to the behavior? Did it increase or decrease? That sorts it into reinforcement or punishment. And 2, was a consequence added to the situation or was something taken away? That tells you positive or negative. It works every single time.
And look, this isn't just some dusty old theory. You can literally start using this today. You want to build a better habit, like studying more or going to the gym? Use positive reinforcement on yourself. Add a little reward after you do it. Or maybe you're a parent or a manager. Understanding that removing a privilege can be just as powerful as adding a chore, that's a total game changer.
The thing is, our brains are basically learning machines, and they are constantly being shaped by the consequences of our actions, whether we notice it or not. The world is always conditioning us. But the really powerful idea here is that once you understand the rules of the game, you can start to shape it back. So I'll just leave you with this to think about. Now that you know the formula, what's one consequence in your life that you could change, starting right now, to reshape your own behavior?